Really pleased to be joined by Colorado Avalanche defenseman Cale Makar. Cale, let's just start with asking you how you're doing. I hope everybody's okay between you and the family. This is such a bizarre time, but how's everybody doing?
Yeah, everybody's doing great right now. Can't complain. Haven't seen many symptoms. Been self isolating after coming back from the U.S. and just trying to kind of be on my own and stuff. But it's incredible to see what all the healthcare workers are doing out there, especially in Canada here, and I mean even back in Denver as well. So I haven't put much out on social media talking about them, but I definitely salute those people and the amazing job that they've done thus far.
Well said. Yes, an incredible job done by everybody there. And I guess if we could just maybe have some fun, just keep it light and talk a little hockey. And I think your journey is just so fantastic and maybe even unique. I don't know how unique you think it is, but I think when we think about your path, I don't know if you consider it traditional or unconventional, but I mean, let's just go back to the beginning. You grew up playing in Calgary and things were going your way. And then all of a sudden you kind of looked at, when did you decide that the college route was going to be the best for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough at a young age to get drafted in the late rounds of the WHL, and I think kind of growing up for us, it's such a big thing. Where obviously we're going to Hitman games in Calgary and everything, but I think I started to really realize the college route when my cousin he started to go that way, and then I started to go to kind of seminars and kind of learn more, and I just felt for me being a smaller guy at the time, it was definitely the right way for me to go.
And Brooks, the Brooks Bandits, where things really started to explode after some hockey here in Calgary. Then you go and you start ripping it up in Brooks, and then you go to UMass Amherst and the Minutemen, and you help rebuild that whole program. Just take us through that, and I guess that commitment. I don't know if some people were surprised that you were going to honor that commitment and go back to Brooks and then go on to college, but for you, from what I always heard about you, is you're fiercely loyal and you stuck with it.
Just committing to UMass under the old coaching staff, and it was kind of a different, funky transition. I feel like I thought they were going to be really good with all the good players that they were bringing in, and then the coaching staff obviously got fired, and it was a kind of a blessing in disguise when the new coaches got hired, and Greg Carvel, Jared DeMichael, and Ben Barr. Carvel obviously coaching in Ottawa and a young Eric Carlson, so for me it was just a very enticing kind of way to go into a UMass program. So for me, I just wanted to remain loyal through that whole process, and I knew it was a good school, and I knew that they were going to get somebody good. It was just a matter of time. So it was definitely a blessing in disguise.
That experience had to be huge. I know the World Junior Championship had to be huge for you as well. What did you take away from that experience?
Well, that was incredible. Obviously, my only World Junior experience, and just being able to play with alongside those guys and see the success that those guys were having in junior and the success that they're having now, whether it's in pros or wherever they are. But no, that was an unbelievable experience. We had such a good team that year, and be able to go all the way and win the gold medal, it was pretty special.
I was talking to Dylan Dubé with the Calgary Flames. Of course, you two have some history together and played on that team. And he just said from the first time, and I don't think you guys were buddies right away, but you blossomed into that as teammates, if I'm getting that story right. But he just had nothing but high praise. He said the moment he saw you play, he knew you were destined for good things.
No, I mean, I really appreciate that coming from him. I feel like we have a good friendship and good relationship. And Dubes is an incredible guy. It's awesome to see that he's been able to find success with the Flames this year. And I hope for him to have continued success. I love the way he plays. And definitely looking back at that World Junior tournament, he was one of our top guys and one of our rocks on our team that kept us glued together.
And then you're drafted fourth overall by the Colorado Avalanche. Just at that point, obviously your biggest moment in hockey, I would assume, because now you hear your name on the big stage. Maybe take me through that experience and what that meant to you and your family.
Yeah, it was super cool. I don't really look back on that too much just because it was more of an individual thing. But I guess looking back now, it was so cool for all my family just to some of them be there and experience what we went through, and just to hear my name called by Joe at the stage, that was pretty incredible. Obviously, watching a few years of him growing up and stuff, and I mean, just to be able to experience it was a very humbling, and I'm very honored to be with the Avalanche today.
I can remember seeing some, just to go back for a moment, I can remember on social media seeing some video of you back in college by yourself after practice, just putting in hours and hours by yourself, skating and just putting in the work afterwards. Where did that work ethic, how was that instilled for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know what clip you're talking about. I think it was
Yeah.
actually our athletic director. I didn't even know he was up there, and it was just I was just kind of trying to. We had a relatively hard practice, and I was just trying to get into a little bit of work at the end. But no, I mean, I think it's just been instilled in me through my parents my entire life. Just never taking anything for granted and always working for what you get. And I think those are just lessons that I've just tried to build off of.
And the story continues to sort of build a little bit when we think about how, okay, you're a member of the Avalanche organization, but you've got a Hobey Baker to win in college. You go through all of that. And I can remember covering the series between Colorado and Calgary, and there was all these whispers that I think this Makar kid's going to join the series. You were in college, and then all of a sudden you're in the pros. Before we get to the on ice, what were the emotions? What were the feelings like that I'm picking up a little hardware here for the Hobey Baker, and then I'm going to join some new teammates at the National Hockey League level?
Yeah, just a whirlwind of a weekend there. Obviously, very honored to accept the Hobey Baker Award, and for me, it was just not something that I was super focused on. I just wanted that national championship as a team, and to end it kind of in the right way. And I tried not to look forward to the next step in pro, but obviously it was so tough, and just seeing what the Avs were doing late in the season and making a push for the playoffs, it was incredible. But no, I don't think I could have had any more storybook start to my career than playing a hometown team in their own barn the next game and stuff. So, no, definitely incredible and a long, weird few days for sure.
I believe you had 10 playoff games under your belt, but I remember that moment you walked into the Avalanche locker room and all of the media just pounced on you. It was the story, and understandably so. Did that was that a little overwhelming when it became very real now? I mean, the media wanted you. There was Calgary media, your hometown, there's Avalanche media, and the way things were going, as you mentioned, for the Avs, they were rolling, and all of a sudden it became very, very real.
Yeah, I mean, it was super cool. Even just walking into the room the first time, I tell everybody this, that all the Avs players, they came up to me within the first 5 minutes and introduced themselves. And I think that's when you know you have a high character group. So, but no, I think just after that morning skate and seeing the media come in, I had never really experienced anything like that, even at the UMass level or even just maybe after the Frozen Four. But I mean, it was cool, and it was just an awesome process to be a part of. And I'm glad I was able to hop in the playoffs and make a little bit of an impact with the guys.
And I mean, Cale, just to go back to that playoff run, to have your parents involved, they're, lifelong Flames fans, your entire family. And I know they were season ticket holders, and you grew up in and around the Saddle Dome. You and I had a chance to tour the Flames dressing room before you were drafted. What was that like for everybody to take part in that, to be suddenly Avalanche fans, but Flames fans at heart?
Yeah, I mean, it was just weird. I think I talked to my dad after the game in my first game in Denver, and my parents were just, it was the weirdest feeling cheering, especially for my goal and stuff, and obviously cheering against the Flames. And growing up such big Flames fans, I know obviously it runs in the family and everything, and I know a lot of them haven't switched over, but I'm sure my direct family has at this point, I hope. So no, it was an incredible experience for us, and just for them to be a part of it was amazing.
And this year now, as we fast forward to this incredible season that we don't know how it will play out, but the truth is you're right there in the Calder Rookie scoring race. You're right there in the overall big picture as a team. I know the individual success can wait for you. That's not as important, but to have the success, 50 points that you're having as a defenseman in the National Hockey League, got Quinn Hughes, who's doing well in Vancouver. Are you, I don't know if surprised is the right word, but how much are you, your expectation level and just the idea that you're having this success, has this caught you off guard in any way?
I don't think it's really caught me off guard, personally. I mean, I think we just have such an incredible group of guys this year and an incredible team that you obviously see everybody's achieving new heights of what they have in their previous seasons in their career. Like obviously Burakovsky, Donskoy, Belmar, Calvert. It just, you can go down the lineup in terms of guys that are having great and incredible seasons. So I don't think it's really surprised any of us knowing the team that we have, but I'm very honored to be in the talks for those awards and stuff. But like you touched on, those individual things will come with team success, and obviously hopefully we can get back to the season. But the main thing right now is everybody staying safe and healthy.
That is such a room to walk into. I think about all the personalities, all the talent, and just this group that has been formed by Joe and company. And, I think it was Gabriel Landeskog that took you under his wing right away, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he kind of right away get to you and just sort of say, all right, here, I don't know if he met you at the airport or you guys had some instant time together?
Yeah, he actually picked me up for my first game and we drove together. So kind of a relaxing experience. Being able to go in a car with him, ask him some questions, and he's such a laid back guy, and honestly one of the best personalities and people that I've ever met in my life. So he for sure did, but especially in this next year, I look at guys like Eric Johnson too, McKinnon. Honestly, we have so many leaders on this team, and that's what makes this team successful thus far.
There was a neat moment in Calgary during the playoffs where Nate McKinnon and the Avalanche, all of you guys were on the ice. And he saw something he didn't like. And I asked him about it after because he kind of snapped at the group. And we've seen him be fiery. I talked to Jared Bednar about that. He just loves that fire. I know they had a bit of a run in. He said, no, I'm not going to rein that in. I like that passion. And they'll work that out. But he kind of called out the group during a practice before a game saying, I thought we were sloppy. And I just thought that leadership was great, that he has that ability to not only, recognize that, back it up, and want more out of his team. And I would imagine as a young guy like yourself, you can learn from that.
I mean, I love it. Nate's a beast. He's one of the most, if not the most competitive guy I've ever played with or met in my life. And I think that just a testament to the high standards that he holds, not only himself, but his team as well. And I think that's kind of what makes great leaders nowadays. Is just a guy that's able to hold everybody accountable and do it kind of the right way. And there'll be times where he'll get on guys, but I think he means well. It's just he's so competitive and he wants everything to be perfect just because he is how he plays, and he's an unbelievable player.
Yeah, it really seems like it does work down there, and everybody has that kind of personality and that ability to fit in together. With Gabriel being the captain and with Nathan being sort of that on ice leader as well, you guys have just got a great group going. And for you to fit right in seamlessly, I wanted to ask you what it's like to play for Jared Bednar. He's your only coach in the National Hockey League so far. He's got things going, and I know he kind of had that rough start early on to his NHL coaching career. But boy, he's really turned it around, Cale. What's it like to play for him?
I mean, he's a player's coach. He's very respectful. I mean, he knows, he understands us as individuals, and he can talk to us individually, but at the same time, he understands the team as a whole. And I think for a group like us that likes to play fast, I think he understands our game plan, and he really kind of adapts the way that we play each team in order to kind of adequately suffice that.
Hey, we don't know, as we mentioned, we don't know how this thing's going to end, but if and when hockey gets up and running, how do you like your group's chances right now? Does this group feel as though they've got something? It looked like last year you took a major step as a group to sort of figuring out who you were and how good you could be. Does it sort of feel like you can go above and beyond with the group you have now?
I think so. I think if you asked anybody on our team, they'd say the same thing. Our goal this year is to hopefully win the Stanley Cup, and honestly, with all this time, it's only going to make us better and give all the injured guys a lot of time to heal. So, no, I mean, I guess you could look at that in a positive way for our group of guys having whatever it was, 6 or 7 main key guys out of the lineup for quite a few weeks there before this unfortunate break. But I mean, hopefully, if we do resume the season, everybody's going to be healthy, and I would love to make a run at it, and I know everybody on our team feels that we could have a chance as well.
Finally, you're out there in the mountains, and you're probably cooking for yourself and creating your own workout, regime. Like, is this like Rocky, where you're just kind of lifting logs, or how are you staying shape? What's a daily routine look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, right now just self-isolating, like we were talking about before, and just daily routine, just kind of working out in the mornings, a lot of just mainly body weight stuff, and just trying to stay fit. Don't go on some runs, do some of the stationary bike, but other than that, I mean, just try and pretend, I guess, like you're still in season to a certain extent, with maybe taking a little bit more breaks than usual.
Well, Cale, it's an absolute pleasure to watch you play. We've been watching you for a while now, and it's just great to see the success you're having. Keep it going, and listen, we really appreciate the time with this today, and we will talk soon.
No worries, anytime, Ryan. Really appreciate you guys giving me the chance to come on this platform.
Hey, thanks again.